1. Theo loses his temper. Theo celebrates his birthday with Todd and Summer, but is underwhelmed by the presents he receives. When Todd is late for Theo's birthday lunch, Theo invites Gary and Maria to join him instead. Todd eventually arrives for the meal, and when it's over, Theo insists Todd pay the entire bill. Todd is forced to admit he doesn't have enough money and is humiliated. Later, Theo accuses Todd of ruining his birthday and demands a bottle of wine. Todd tries to de-escalate the situation by suggesting coffee, causing Theo to see red. 2. Theo covers his tracks. Todd cleans up the broken crockery from the previous night and informs George that he won't be able to come to work. Meanwhile, Gary catches Theo waking up in his van. Theo makes out that Todd picked a fight because he's worried about his financial situation. Gary arrives at the flat to pick up Theo's clothes and catches Todd breaking down. Todd confesses to Gary that he wants to make things right with Theo. At Gary's request, Theo pays Todd a visit. 3. Todd turns to his friends for support. George, Christina, Sarah and James try to lift Todd's spirits in the Rovers, but when Todd sees Theo, he's overcome with emotion and makes a quick exit. Theo gives chase and tells Todd that they need to talk. Afterwards, Todd drinks heavily. James helps Todd home, but the pair are unaware that Theo is watching from a distance. Later, Theo overhears Summer telling George that James spent the night on the sofa. 4. George's reputation is ruined. Theo notices Adam with a client in speed dial, and when he discovers that it's Annie, Theo decides to intervene. Meanwhile, George is downbeat when a fresh batch of news articles accuse him of fraud. Having read the news, Maggie fears George could damage the Rovers' reputation by association. She labels George a conman and bars him from the pub. Todd and Christina try to defend George, but are also quickly barred by Maggie. 5. Leanne is worried about Sam. Leanne rushes Sam home after he is sick at the bus stop. Leanne admits to Nick that Sam is worried about his exams, but she fears there's something else going on. Leanne also turns to Megan for advice, but Megan downplays Leanne's fears and assures her that she's worrying over nothing. 6. Leanne has suspicions about Megan. Megan assumes she's home alone and has a flirty conversation with Will on the phone, but is horrified when Leanne walks in. Later, Sam receives another nasty dig from Megan. Meanwhile, Leanne confides her concerns about Sam to Daniel and apologizes for interrupting his call with Megan. Leanne's suspicion is piqued when Megan cancels her date with Daniel. 7. Sam takes Hope's advice. Sam's turmoil does not go unnoticed by Hope, who correctly assumes he's being bullied and urges him to stand up for himself. Megan issues another warning to Sam and insists that nobody will ever believe his accusation about her relationship with Will. Sam decides to take Hope's advice, but how will Megan react? 8. Steve prepares for Jim's funeral. Steve confesses to Tim that he's been avoiding Cassie because he's not sure he wants to get married again. Cassie's proposal isn't the only thing weighing heavily on Steve's mind as he readies himself for Jim's funeral. Steve asks Ben to join him for moral support, but the invite leaves Tim jealous. 9. Maggie is rattled. Maggie learns that Ben is attending Jim's funeral and can't resist making her disapproval known. Later, the mourners gather in the Rovers and 2 of Jim's old friends regale Steve with stories from Jim's past. It's clear that the conversation is getting to Maggie, and she attempts to draw the night to a close by reminding Ben of his hospital appointment in the morning. 10. Eva clocks Maggie's behavior. Ben wakes up with a hangover, and Eva points out that he's due at the hospital for his echocardiogram. Maggie is furious to learn that Ben missed his appointment and takes her frustrations out on the customers. Eva sympathizes with Maggie, and whilst she is aware that Jim's funeral has brought back memories of losing Ben's father, she reminds Maggie that she can't take it out on everyone else. 11. Adam and Jodie's feud continues. Following their recent argument, Adam spots Jodie walking the dog and gives her a lecture on the importance of cleaning up dog poo. Adam realizes his words have been ignored, as he later witnesses Jodie allowing David the dog to pee against his new car. Elsewhere, Tracy threatens to report Jodie to environmental health when she notices the dog behind the counter at the cafe. 12. Jodie's prank backfires. Adam confronts Jodie with a bag of dog poo and accuses her of being behind the prank. Jodie protests her innocence, but David can tell she's lying. Adam vents his frustrations to Alia and Daniel and decides to catch Jody in the act. David and Jody play a further prank on Adam, but receive a shock the next day when Lily points them towards the Weatherfield community page. Jody makes out to David that her ex-boyfriend could track her down if he ever saw the video. Will David be able to convince Adam to remove it? 13. Alia is contacted by Rich. Adam suggests a holiday to Alia as a reward for all their hard work, but Alia's good mood is ruined by an unexpected text. Later, Alia receives a call from Rich, her old boss at the Fabians firm, but quickly rejects it. Alia decides to meet up with Rich, but what does he want from her? 14. Lauren is jealous. Lauren bites her tongue when she learns that Amy is preparing for her first date with Ollie. As Lauren hands over some drinks, she trips and accidentally soaks Amy. Despite the incident with Lauren, Amy and Ollie enjoy a successful first date. When Ollie reveals that he's taking Amy out again, Steve and Ben are delighted that their kids have hit it off. 15. Maggie meddles in Ollie's relationship. Maggie decides to wreck Ollie's relationship and instructs Lauren to glam up and interrupt the couple's second date at speed dial. Maggie's plan pays off when Ollie is unable to take his eyes off Lauren. Later, Ollie turns on Maggie and calls her out for trying to sabotage his date with Amy. However, when Lauren confesses that she wishes they were still together, how will Ollie react?